Welcome to the space where energy, frequency, wisdom, and transformation meet. My name is Brooke Richardson, and I am an energy practitioner, intuitive guide, and hypnotherapist. I am bringing you information, knowledge, practices from around the world from all kinds of different practitioners to help you in your spiritual awakening journey and your holistic well-being. So if this resonates, be sure to like, subscribe, and let's dive in.
So excited that today I'm with Pau Castellsagué. Thank you so much for your time and for being here today. I'm really excited to hear about your journey in Thai massage, osteopathy, how you combine the two, and your journey as well, just from Barcelona to beautiful Ubud, what that has been like. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Brooke. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, I would love to start with your journey from Barcelona to Ubud. What brought you here, and what has your journey been like? Have you always been in the holistic space, and how did that develop? I'm sure there's a story there.
There is a story. We should try to make the long story short. Because for me, I had a normal life, and I worked as a journalist, and I managed to sneak into one of the top radio stations in Barcelona. So
Sneak into it like that.
my parents, my family, my grandmother loved to listen to me. She said I have a great voice for radio, and so everybody, because my teenage times were somewhat, I was always very hectic and a little rebel. So suddenly I had like a proper job and quite a recognized space in that time as a journalist and speaking through the radio waves. So it was like, wow, Pau finally settled and found his thing, and now he's just
How old were you about that time?
Well, I started with radio when I was 18.
Oh wow, quite young.
And I was involved first in my hometown local radio station, and then I managed to jump from my village into the big city of Barcelona. And in total I was involved in radio station and journalism, and then I did some documentaries for a decade. But in some of the last years I started to see the competition of this world, and there was something that it was like, I'm not really sure that I'm gonna spend my life in this world where there is this frequency, right? And while this was happening, I started with yoga. My brother was the one that pulled me into this universe. He was a photographer, I was a journalist, my sister was a school teacher, and we were almost literally induced by this ashram in the north of Spain. And we started to practice, and we signed up for this 4-year teacher training.
4 years, wow.
Yeah.
Most of them nowadays are, a few weeks, right?
I know. You can come to Ubud and do a low-cost teacher training and become a yoga teacher in 1 month, and maybe 3 weeks.
So were you commuting to the north of Spain, or you stayed there?
We were.
Wow.
We were in Catalonia, which is the northeast of Spain, and we would go once a month for a long weekend there. And this was a revolution for us. And we basically, all three of us quit our jobs. So imagine my father and my mother.
Was it at the same time?
My father,
You probably had a heart attack.
It was the same time. It was at the same time.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's
It
all
all
do this
happened like
together.
an explosion. And for my father, he's a doctor, and my mom, she's a nurse. It was like, okay, none of my children have followed our footsteps into the medical world, but journalist, photographer, teacher doesn't sound too bad. We've made, we did what we could, and now they are
Unemployed, maybe?
not really. We were cool. We were doing our thing, but suddenly this teacher training and our first trip to India, everything just shifted and changed, and suddenly my parents were like, what's going on? Because we all quit our jobs, and we decided that yoga would be our path. That's how it all started. And it must be said that it was a bit my parents' fault, because back in '77 when they got married, they went to celebrate their honeymoon in India, which it wasn't very common.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, we're talking about 1977, so they
Wow.
spent 3 months in India, and as they are a doctor and nurse, they were involved in different projects there.
Volunteering or?
Yeah, and leprosy organizations.
Wow. What
and
a
some,
honeymoon.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. They were young and committed to their core, the core foundation of their life, which has been to treat people and to help others. So then they were like, we're gonna go to India, all the 5 of us together, and that's what we did. We went to India and we followed the footprints of their trip 25 years before.
Wow.
We just decided, all 5 of us as a family, to travel to India, and we did the Golden Triangle with Delhi, Jaipur, Agra, and we went
Wow.
to Mumbai and Goa, and that trip was life-changing. And this was 2005, and in that same trip, I still remember very clearly, from Goa, we were all taking a flight back to Mumbai, and then we were returning to Barcelona. I was still working as a journalist at that time, but my brother, he was such a radical, he decided to stay in India for a few months.
Wow.
And alone, he took a train.
Wow.
He had shaved his head, and he took a train, and he left down south to Kerala.
Oh, wow.
And we were like, whoa, this is for real. 2 years later, I had already quit my job. We went to India again, with my whole family again.
Wow.
And that's when my brother, my sister, and I, we all stayed in India for a few months. And
Was that planned or was that a...
that was planned. That was more planned, yeah. That was more, established before. I didn't have a return ticket. And from this ashram in the very south tip of India, where I did one of my first teacher trainings, or like a 1 month, like a regular teacher training. And then from there I went to Thailand and I discovered Thai massage.
Had you been exploring different modalities at that point?
Not at all.
Or this was like one of your first and it just clicked?
That was something that I have to mention. I don't remember her name, but in the ashram in India there was this American girl and her boyfriend. And her boyfriend was a painter and she was a Thai massage therapist. And because it was a month and we were 220 students in that group, we became very close and we made friendships that seemed to be eternal, because not specifically with this particular girl, but with some of the people that I met in that ashram were still really good friends. But in that moment, this girl, as soon as we started to know each other, she was like, you should go to Thailand in the north and study Thai massage. I think it would really hook you. I was like, yeah, okay. I was so focused in yoga and already in acro yoga in the time. So I was like, yeah, thank you for your
Insight,
suggestion. But another week went by and she came, so have you considered to go to Thailand? I'm like, well, I don't know. So you haven't even considered it. Okay, Pau, after lunch today, I just want you to come in the lower shala that was a bit more secluded. And you're gonna lay down, I'm gonna give you a Thai massage. And that was the first Thai massage that I received. And one of my teachers in Thai massage says, we give the massage not to just treat the physical body, but to open a window of clarity for the person to have a little bit more certainty what is the next step in their spiritual path. So that's deep.
Yeah.
That's very deep. And that's exactly what happened to me. Because as I was just laying down there, receiving these beautiful movements and like a dance and pressures and leanings and stretches and acupressure points, and I was just embraced by this idea that actually
I'm going to Thailand.
I'm going to Thailand. And I did. I went to Thailand. I'm a bit like, in Spanish we say culo inquieto. It's like my ass wants to move around.
As a nomad, I can definitely relate.
So I was a journalist and I could have done this for the rest of my life, but now
Next chapter.
I'm a yoga teacher. And then suddenly I was teaching acro yoga. And then suddenly I was a Thai massage teacher. And then I went into osteopathy.
Yeah, how did that come into play?
Well, Thai massage is beautiful, and yet there is so much moments where I would hit a wall with a big letters, capital letters, that was I don't know. So people would come to me and say like, hey, can you help me with this knee pain? I was like, I don't know. Maybe it's gonna help, like because somehow the philosophy of Thai massage is we go from the tip of the toes to the top of the head, and we do a thorough workout in all the body. We work on the physical body. We have an effect on the energetic body. We also calm the mind. We have almost the ability to go into the back of the mind, like the
Subconscious? Or
exactly the
reaching
Vijnana
more the
Vijnana
spiritual?
Maya Kosha.
Oh, okay.
And then eventually we touch the blissful body or Anandamaya Kosha. So we go from Annamaya Kosha to Pranamaya Kosha.
In one session?
In one session.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not that I do that. It's like the way that Thai massage works, because we touch the whole body and we say we leave no stone unturned, and with this soft but yet strong contact, and with the plethora of different techniques that are available in Thai massage, we just relax the person in such a way that maybe this light bulb opens up, and then the knee that was painful, now the energy is flowing, and we've managed to help somebody with knee pain. But I didn't know. I had to ask, right? When so you would come to me with a knee pain or with a headache, and I would give you the treatment, and then you would come from this deep relaxation, and I would be very curious, like, is the headache still there?
Because essentially you're getting the body into its own healing process, correct? Like
True.
realigning it.
True, absolutely. We're tapping in, and this is very much also in relation to osteopathy. So a lot of the things that I say about Thai massage, they also, I could say the same thing, the same concept also works for osteopathy.
So what's the main difference for those who aren't super familiar with osteopathy?
Well, one is from the east and the other one is from the west. And for example, in Thai massage, we would never talk about the anatomy. We would
Really?
say maximum would be the shin bone, but we would not say the tibia bone, right?
Okay.
And we would say right here next to the hip, but it was never the coxofemoral. Right?
Okay.
We would not talk about ligaments or specific muscles. So when people would come after, so I started just charging a little donation or practicing. First you practice with friends and family, then they want to give you something in exchange, so it's a donation. Then you put like a low price, but slowly,
That's a process.
and it's a very personal journey.
Yes.
I want to underline that. So for anyone that is slowly becoming a therapist, or someone that is already a therapist, they already know, it's a very personal journey. So you cannot expect that somebody will follow my footprints, because I didn't follow like strictly the footprints of anybody.
Right.
I followed my own journey, right? And the yoga knowledge also helped me. And still today I give advice to my patients that relate to what I learned on the yoga mat. And even acro yoga, that sounds or looks so beautiful and plastic, but also people might think that is a bit superficial compared to yoga and meditation. It's like just playful. But there's also a lot to learn, because it's two bodies, and we hold their body weight as they turn. And
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, that's also, you need
so
to be
you know,
careful.
everything feeds you, and then the universe brings you the person that you can actually help. And that happened with Thai massage too, but there was so many times that I was like, I just don't know. And when I would ask, actually the headache was gone more often than not. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I wanted to learn the anatomy. I wanted to learn the physiology. The anatomy is the bones, the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons, and where they are, and the physiology is, and also the organs, right? And the physiology is, how does it really work? So what does the liver, what is the liver function? Well, there's like 500 plus functions. And osteopathy, and Andrew Taylor Still is the founder of osteopathy, American doctor from the 1800s and the early 1900s. He said, the main three principles of osteopathy: anatomy, anatomy, anatomy. Which is not, he said that in some of his quotes, but he also described the four main principles of osteopathy, and basically Osteopathy in a nutshell is every single, although it's called osteo, which means bone, and pathos, which means pathology or what is wrong with the bones. It's much more than that, right? And we do adjust bones like the chiropractors, but we do so much more. We have the most direct and invasive techniques, like cracking, meaning that there's a bone that is not exactly where it should be, and you're like, oh, really? Boom! Now you're where you belong. So it's radical.
Right.
But there's also the most subtle and sophisticated sensitive touch of the craniosacral therapy. Structural osteopathy, visceral osteopathy, and cranial osteopathy. These are the three main guns that we carry in the belt. So that's how I treat today. I treat with osteopathic methods, but I also use Thai massage to prepare, to integrate, to test, to mobilize, to massage, because why not, right? So in both Thai massage and osteopathy, the quality of touch is paramount.
And do you see emotional releases then, in terms of like these movements and the touch? Do you see that? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't ever plan to, okay, let's release some emotion, but sometimes it just comes with the package. And this is true for both Thai massage and for osteopathy. I wouldn't say that one is more than the other in this sense, because Thai massage, when you receive a Thai massage, you're like embraced in warmth and movement and subtlety, but also powerful pressures. And when the therapist has actually learned how to travel through the layers and how to listen to what the body has to say, it's just a sensation of arriving and being really nurtured. And that can obviously, a lot of people have trauma. Everybody. And if you think you don't, think again. And some people more and some others less, but we all have little bits of trauma that, personal opinion, is stored in the body, right? So I see trauma like a little crawling creature, like a little bird or a living entity that in some moment, because of some circumstances, it is created and it has a life. And so it is born and one day will die. And just like any other living entity, it will hold on to their life. And where would you hide if you were a little trauma bug inside somebody's body?
Crevices,
yeah, in the depth, right? Holding into the deep fascia, holding into the pericardium, which is the fascia of the heart. So in both Thai massage and osteopathy, we often end up placing one hand in this very intimate space, which is the sternum, and just staying there and going through the skin and through the fascia and through the bone, and maybe even from the container, which is the rib cage and the sternum, into the content, which in this case is the heart. And when techniques like this, or almost gestures like this, are done with softness and with love and with presence, something happens where this little creature that was holding there is not able to hold anymore, and it's just time to let go. And this can come with emotional release. This is why I love, in this moment of my life here in Ubud, I'm mainly treating, but I love the pedagogic aspect of teaching other...
I was going to say, you do a lot of teaching.
Yeah,
so
I love that. Just to teach like random beginners how to give some Thai massage, which is possible. People can learn to give Thai massage. Can they learn in one of my classes here at Yoga Barn, which is 1.5 hours? Can they actually learn Thai massage? No. This is not something that we can learn over a class or overnight or over a long weekend. Some things are literally gonna require decades. And so I have a few of them in my life that come with me, you know. I carry different backpacks, and one is yoga and meditation. Let's put those two together because they go together. And another one is Thai massage and osteopathy, or bodywork and therapy. And I have a few more, like music.
Oh,
yeah,
amazing. amazing.
Like learning an instrument. Do you
What
think
instrument?
guitar?
Very nice.
And singing prayers and bhakti.
Which you incorporate in your yoga
course.
conference in Barcelona.
Yeah, and in my classes,
Oh,
and
beautiful.
especially in my retreats.
I think
And-
so many people think they have to do one thing and one thing only.
Oh no.
But were you always open to using different tools in your backpack and experimenting? How did that process?
That wasn't planned.
Okay.
That wasn't planned at all. But it just happens to be that when we were
Originates,
teenagers with my brother, we just grabbed the guitar and started playing, inspired by my uncle. And then I stopped playing guitar for a number of years. But when it was time to sing the mantra Sit and Ram, and I met my friend Deep Deka, that is my true inspiration when it comes to bhakti and prayers and mantra and singing the names of the divine, then I was like, wait a minute, let me grab this guitar and all the shapes and the intelligence of my fingers was already trained in that. So I love this unlimitedness of yoga and meditation, bodywork practices like Thai massage and osteopathy, or guitar or drumming, or learning a new language.
What about people who get kind of stuck on, I need to do the next course in order to really put myself out there? Because, there are some people that it's like, I need this one, then I need this one, instead of just, no, I have enough for now, I'll always keep learning, but I can start now.
When it comes to going back to bodywork, there are, and I was one of them, the so-called technique hunters.
I didn't know there was a name for that.
We would go to Chiang Mai and we would I want to learn new techniques. Because if you start and you do your treatment, and more or less when you begin, you don't have that many tools. So regardless of the person that comes, you're going to treat them the same way, right? You're going to do what you learned, and you're going to go from A to B and from B to C, and you are going to end up at the Z. And then the next person that comes, what you're going to do from A to B and from B to C, and you're going to end up at the Z. So then at some point you're like, I'm bored of my structure, I'm bored of the symmetry, and you go looking for new inspiration. So respect for that. That's like thirst to it's commitment, and it's just a phase. It's a phase in your journey, in your very personal journey. And then at some point you also have this, okay, now I just need to practice. Now I have enough. I remember going to the Thai Massage Circus. It's a 1-month course many years ago, and I thought that I was already a really good Thai massage therapist. And when I learned there from the teachers at the circus, specifically Arnaud Lermite, that is the visionary that started blending Thai massage and osteopathy. He's just a French artist, vagabond, out of the box kind of person, and he was both a physiotherapist and an osteopath, fell in love with Thai massage, brought it all together, called it Osteopathy, and I was very drawn to him and to the specificity and the precision and the knowingness. Somehow there was something that he had that I was missing, and I was like, I need to learn from this guy. So I spent 1 month with him in the Laos jungle.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. After that, I assisted his course. Counting this one first time that I was a student, I went there another 6 times, and I was part of his team. And the last years already as a licensed osteopath, I could be together with other of my colleagues. I could be his right hand and really hold space and because it's a 1 month, so he cannot teach it all, right? So I managed to again sneak in and be part of his team and enjoy what's happening there in the Thai Massage Circus, which is really special and beautiful in nature. And I remember finishing my first circus and being like, I don't know anything. I was so overflooded with new techniques and new concepts, new understandings, that I went through a phase of,
what did I just do?
oh my God, I thought that I had a clear way to treat the person that would come and lay down in my futon, and now insecurity, overwhelming sensations of there is so much more to learn. It's almost like I peaked from the boat, and I saw the whole ocean, and I was like, whoa. But after that, this was one of the motivations. There was many others. That's when I went to osteopathy college, and then I started to nourish myself with a 5-year program of osteopathy. And again, I went through insecurities, and I hit rock bottom in some moments, in financial terms, in personal terms, in social terms. It was, like being reborn somehow in a way. And now that a number of years have passed since I graduated, now I'm in that place.
Calm.
Now I'm in that place where it's like, I have enough techniques, I have enough knowledge, I will always keep learning, but it's time to put my hands on other human beings and touch and feel and develop my palpation. That's the main objective. And one of the main difference between Thai massage and osteopathy is in Thai massage we don't put so much attention in this concept of palpation.
Palpation.
Palpation means to not only do something. Like if I give you a massage and I start massaging you, I'm using all my experience and every other person that I massaged to understand how much to give and how to do it and where to where to squeeze and where to pull, and with the hope that you're gonna like it and that your body is gonna feel better after. In osteopathy, it's a bit different. We put the hands in the body in a sharp, specific, and systematic, precise way on top of a certain structure. Let's call it the knee, and the knee has a femur and it has a tibia. So when I put my hand on the knee, and then I close my eyes and I sink into the bone, there's always, I think in 5 years I learned 1,355 techniques.
That's a lot.
Each of them have hand placement and like setting up the position of your body, of their body, of my hands, specifically of my hands, and then exhaling into the contact of that structure, whatever it is. In this case it's a knee. And then closing your eyes and listening and visualizing. And the objective is to establish a dialogue. And when that dialogue is established, I'm not just doing something. I'm
communicating.
Exactly. And communicating, what's the gesture that you just made? It's like this, right? So I'm like, I give you a little bit, but I back off and see what you have to say. And I give you a little bit and I back off. And then
you're speaking to the body.
Exactly. And the body's speaking to me. And in the beginning, it's very big. I give, I retract. I give, I back off. But then it's fine-tuning, another big important word in the osteopathic world. Then it's like smaller and smaller. I give, come back, 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 pop. And then there's a moment that happens, and there's more than a dialogue. There's something is established there that knee is suddenly acknowledged, and the knee is like, wait a minute, are you talking to me? And when was the last time that somebody actually
spoke to their knee?
Spoke to their knee, or that somebody spoke to your knee? When did we take a moment to talk to our liver that does 500 plus things every day?
Or to thank it.
Yeah, and just to say thank you. And osteopathy is the art of not only going to that liver and saying, hey, thank you for everything you do, but also to be like,
I see.
Back off a little bit, like, hey, how are you? What can I do for you today? And we treat the body in such specificity with the liver, with an occiput, with a sacrum, with a sternum. But at the same time, we consider, and this is a very important concept in osteopathy, we consider the body as a functional unit. And it's not just a sacrum, a occiput, a liver, and a heart. It is a whole system that works together. It's a masterpiece of human anatomy and physiology engineering that does wonders so that we can walk and see and think and relate and touch and feel. It's just fascinating.
Yes, yes. So that's almost challenging to teach, no? Because you have to have that lived experience of knowing.
Yeah.
It's what you were saying, everyone's unique journey, right?
True.
Of developing their own sensing.
It's hard to teach something that it's very ambitious. I wouldn't say that it's hard.
It's a
It's
good
very
way to put it,
ambitious.
yeah.
It's ambitious to teach something that is going to take years, if not decades, for your students to master. And at the same time, I'm so passionate about it. And it's already happening. Some of my students, they are not osteopaths. They are Thai massage therapists or shiatsu therapists or Chinese doctors or you name it. Just curious humans that want to learn more about the body and how it works and want to give a massage to their partner. And then they're hooked and then they start to their own personal and unique journey. And the beauty of this is you don't have to learn and create a library of every single bone, every single joint, every single vital organ in the human body. You can choose 3 of them that you feel passionate. We call them classical holds. So you put the hands in such a way that systematically and persistently you repeat that shape. Regardless of whose knee or whose shoulder is under your hands, you repeat the same shape and you put your hands in the same way and you do that gesture again and again. So when you've done it 15 times, you're way much more clear of what's going on than the first one that you did.
100%.
When you do the first one, you're like,
What is this?
I don't know. But when you've done 25 sacrums, then you start to be like, oh, hey, Pau, this sacrum is very hard, no? Like, yeah, good for you. Because you've touched 24 sacrums, and this is the hardest one. And this is the beauty of palpation, and this is what we're constantly grinding and working towards as therapists and as osteopaths.
That beautiful sensing ability. Well, thank you so much, Pau. I really appreciate your time, all of the knowledge that you've shared with us today. I'm super excited to get my Thai massage. And again, just thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge and wisdom. Any final words you'd like to share?
Thank you, Brooke. It was really a pleasure. And together with my brother and my sister that I mentioned before, we organized the Barcelona Yoga Conference.
Yes.
It's my sidekick. And it's a really special event. We do it every 2 years. And in the summer of 2025, it's going to happen the first weekend of July.
Book your
in
calendars.
Barcelona. And it's a really special calendar. It shouldn't be me saying it, but it is. It's a really special event. And we are all looking forward to get together and celebrate at Barcelona.
Wonderful. Hope to see you there then.
Thank you, Brooke.
Thank you, Pau.
Thank you for being in this space of energy and expansion. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe for more wisdom and content. Until next time, land the light.